The KTM 950. Is it just an obese pumpkin or one of the most versatile big capacity adventure bikes ever made? I have occasionally ridden with guys who own these beasts and always been surprised when they start riding them like dirt bikes. A mate of mine owns one and occasionally drags it out of storage. Yesterday we popped out for a quick run and I got to ride the 950 again for the first time in years. First, a bit of history. The story of the KTM 950 adventure starts in 1992. Two engineering students combined a pair of cylinders from an LC4 single into a special crankcase, and it was displayed at a motorbike show. In 1998, KTM decided to go with a V-twin design and an emphasis on lightweight and compact build. The result? The new LC8 engine, and production began in 2003. Key specs: 196 kilograms dry weight and around 102 horsepower. Many owners say it's like riding a big dirt bike, and the specs bear this out. 21-inch front wheel, lots of suspension travel, and relatively lightweight for the engine size. Years ago, I used to lead rides with my DR650, and I clearly remember being followed by guys on KTM 950s and 990s. I would increase the pace a little, they were still there. I'd increase the speed again, they were still on my tail. A few times I pushed as hard as I could safely. There was always one guy who was right there behind me, no matter how rough the forest trail became. An experienced rider can really boot these big pumpkins along at good speed. And of course, it's also 80% the rider, 20% the bike. So, what's it like to ride one of these after a relative lightweight like the DR650? A constant theme you hear from 950 owners is they only notice the weight at a standstill, but the moment you are moving, you don't notice it anymore. Well, I can see what they mean, but I don't completely agree. The KTM is about 50 kilograms heavier than my DR650. I was always conscious of that extra weight when riding. But yeah, once you are moving, it is surprising how you just don't worry about the weight. The long travel suspension soaks up the bumps and jumps, and while you can't exactly flick the bike around, it is very manoeuvrable in the dirt. It's easy to see why this bike bit so much into BMW's share of the adventure bike market.
More dollars than cents? No riding skills but plenty of cash? BMW has you covered. These boots are ribbed for your pleasure and use only the highest quality unicorn skin, rhino horn and tiger penis. BMW. It's the triumph of style over substance.
Known issues with the KTM 950? Not a lot. The basic engine design of the LC8 was rock solid. There were occasional issues with clutch slave cylinder failures, water pump seals and faulty radiator caps, and the emissions equipment caused the usual sort of problems. The majority of owners just ditched it. Regular viewers will know in recent vids I have been discussing whether big adventure bikes are getting a bit too heavy for many riders. Of course, if you mainly do highways and some easy dirt roads, weight is not very important, and a heavy bike is usually more stable if you have a passenger. But for the solo rider who wants to occasionally get into the rougher stuff, weight does become an issue. And I know plenty of guys getting into adventure riding for the first time, or after a long break. They bought the biggest adventure bike possible, then rapidly realised it was too heavy for their purposes. So, would a second-hand KTM 950 or 990 suit you? It's hard to say, but at least it's a lot lighter than many of the other big capacity options. It has plenty of grunt to punt along at highway speeds all day, but also a fair bit of capability for off-road. My gut feeling is if you are new to adventure riding, it's probably best to get smaller capacity bikes at first, then work your way up to these beasts. For everyone else, this 950 or its close cousin the 990 are well worth looking at if you want a very versatile adventure bike.